Welcome to Winterfest, the music and arts festival where we're banishing the winter blues. Proceeds from the festival go to the Winterfest Wellbeing Fund, supporting local people and Mid- and Northeast Essex Mind. Featuring 22 events, check our website, brightlingsea.winterfest.co.uk for full details. And please, make a donation via our PayPal link.
Winterfest. Tell everyone.
Everyone, welcome to the New Moon Yoga class. Now you all might be coming with different experiences, different expectations of the class, and maybe it's yoga that's drawn you in, or maybe it's the new moon theme that's drawn you in. So either way, let me just explain a bit about it. Working with the moon is something that's quite new to myself as well, and I think the best way to think about it and describe it is thinking of the lunar calendar as a bit of structure and rhythm to your life and to the months ahead, really. So when we think of the new moon, it's kind of the start of something. So it's about thinking about your intentions for this lunar cycle, which is about 4 weeks, thinking about what goals you have, and so kind of a chance to reflect on that a little bit. And it's also the end of the previous lunar cycle, so it's also a chance to stop and pause, to reflect a little bit as well. So the practice this evening is going to be quite slow paced. It might be challenging because there's going to be some deep stretches in there. But so I ask you to, whatever your idea of yoga was or what the class might be, that's kind of what the style is this evening. There are loads of different styles, but that's the style we're going to go with this evening. So I ask you to really embrace that and to go with it and just see what happens after the 45 minutes. I know that sometimes it can be quite hard to slow down and pause and stop. So that's a challenge in itself. So I hope that it's one that you can enjoy and hopefully find a little bit of rest in there as well. Cool. Okay. For the session, you will need, if you haven't already got them, a couple of cushions handy, or just something for a bit of padding. It just sometimes helps with some of the postures, and a blanket as well if you have a blanket. Handy. I'll give you kind of a little bit of time now to get those things by your side so that they're ready for when you need them. And when you are ready and you've got them there, we're going to begin lying down. I'll be demonstrating all the postures, but also, we're doing things online, so I'll try my best to give really good cues as well about what you need to do, so that if you don't want to keep looking up, you don't have to. So we're going to begin lying, but with a bend to the knees, and place the feet flat on the floor. Okay, no force. They don't have to be really close to the sitting bones or really far away, just wherever feels comfortable and where they land. And let's place the palms faced up, arms alongside the body. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under a little bit to have a bit of openness at the top, at the front of the chest. And we'll take a moment here in this position to settle in. Might be the first time you have stopped rushing around for the day, or it might be the first time that you said, yes, I'm giving myself this time, this 45 minutes for me. So allow yourself to feel really, really supported by the ground beneath. And just check in and ask yourself how you're feeling this evening. And by that, I mean how you're feeling physically. Have you got any injuries or aches and pains that maybe you need to just pay a bit of attention to? How you're feeling emotionally. It's a Thursday evening, so if you've been working for the week, that might affect things. It's been a roller coaster, sure, months, weeks, days. So how are you feeling emotionally? And how are you feeling mentally? when you check in with how you're feeling, try to let go of any judgment attached to that. Try to be the observer rather than any judgmental commentary going on in the mind. Try to set that aside and accept who you are, where you are, and trust you're in the right place for the next bit of time. Okay, let's place the hands on the upper chest. And start to breathe now, if you can, in and out of the nose. If you have a blocked nose, then breathe out of the mouth, that's fine. But try breathing in and out of the nose and just notice how the chest rises on the inhale and then softens on the exhale. A couple more breaths just there. So trying to send the breath to that space where your heart is, filling up with some goodness, with a bit of energy. And noticing how the breath starts to slow and steady, helping you to arrive here. Good. Now place the hands on the side body, on the side of the ribs. And a couple more breaths here. So send the breath a little bit deeper now, deep into the lungs, and feel how the side body expands on the inhale. And then relaxes on the exhale. So use the breath to start to explore your inner landscape. Nice. And then finally move the hands down to the belly, down to just below the navel. And this time with your deepest and longest, richest breaths, filling up the belly. Let the belly rise. Goes against all of those. Suck the belly in that we've heard a lot, maybe throughout your whole life. Really maybe force and encourage the belly to rise and fill on the inhale. And settle on the exhale. Really nice. Let's do a few more breaths there. That deep belly breathing. And try to think of every inhale really filling up with goodness, with good intention. And with every exhale, a sense of letting go, sense of really releasing and letting go of the day so far. Maybe of any of those little niggles and pains, trying to soften into those, let them go. Nice. And this deep belly breathing is really the key to the yoga practice. So it's something that throughout the practice this evening, we'll try and use this breath to explore the postures, explore how they make you feel, the impact of them. If this deep belly breathing is quite a struggle, it's something quite new and unfamiliar, then that's cool, that's fine. You're in the right place, you're giving it a go. It takes practice to do. So do your best, yeah? Nice. And throughout all these postures, if it feels nice to close down the eyes, you can do. If not, then just have a soft gaze. Lovely. All right, let's release the arms alongside the body and then extend the legs out long. Extend right leg, then left leg. Oh, we're going to raise the arms up and overhead. If this is a bit tough for your shoulders to go all the way up and overhead, or if, like me, you don't have enough space, then take hold of opposite elbows and do your best to frame the head with the elbows. If that is too far on the shoulder joint, then maybe resting the forearms on the forehead. That's absolutely fine. From here, start to edge both feet over towards the right hand side. So you're starting to make a bit of a curve with the body. And find your edge, yeah. So trying not to force anything at this stage. So maybe the heels start to move towards the edge of the mat. And then we're going to shift the elbows and head also over to that right side. So we're making like a banana shape, or quite apt crescent moon shape with the body. Trying to keep the hips where they were at the beginning. So feeling both sitting bones, gently pressing equally into the mat. And just allowing this really, really lovely side stretch over the left side of the body and the left ribs. And find that deep belly breathing. Notice how the breath kind of changes. It's a bit of an extra struggle now we're in this compromised position. Can you edge your heels a little bit further over to the right? Can you edge your elbows a little bit over to the right? Finding a new edge. Taking big, rich inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Let's move the heels back to center and bring the head and arms back to center. Notice how that's kind of changed the from the left side to the right. And then we'll start to move the heels over towards the left. So remembering to keep the hips just where they are. And then start to edge the head and elbows over to the left as well. So again, let's start finding your first edge. We'll have a few breaths here and then there'll be a chance to go a bit deeper if you want to. So try to soften into this posture and really feel that length from the right toes all the way up, past the hip, past the rib cage, up to the armpit, and maybe if your arms are stretched out long, all the way up to the little finger. Beautiful. Oh, maybe you want to edge the heels a little bit more to the left and the head a little bit more. And take one more big, big, rich inhale and exhale. Cool. And then let's slowly come back to center. Lovely. Okay, you can release the arms back alongside the body. Let's bring a bend to the knees and then place the soles of the feet together so the knees start to come out wide. Coming into a reclined butterfly. Now, if this is very intense on your hips, then feel free to use those cushions and just gently prop them underneath the back of the hips so you have a bit of support there at the sort of back of the top thighs. Or if you want to stack a couple of cushions, then that's cool too. Just staying here for a moment, let's place the hands on the belly and come back to that deep belly breathing. And really enjoy this, if you can, this openness of the hips. Try to soften through the facial muscles and the jaw. And really enjoy that nice contrast of a gentle pressure of the soles of the feet together. So there's a bit of an alertness there, but then there's a sense of letting go and a release with the knees really dropping wide, letting gravity just do its thing. So taking a few more breaths here in reclined butterfly. Nice, okay. So if you want to go a little bit deeper and you've placed the cushions there, you might want to remove the cushions, or you might like to shift the heels either a bit further away from the groin or a bit in towards the groin. You work with what feels like it might be a nice exploration for you. Let's just take a couple more breaths here. There's really, really small movements with a slight difference. Lovely. Okay, let's release the hands to either side of the hips and slowly support that like weightiness, the heaviness of the legs. Support the knees to come back up to center. And place the soles of the feet on the floor again. Nice. Okay, keep the left foot where it is and start to draw the right knee in towards the chest. So clasp the hands around the right shin. Just give that right knee in a little squeeze in. Maybe squeezing it in towards the heart and squeezing it a little bit wider towards the armpit. Nice. And then with your right hand, take hold of the right shin or right foot, or maybe wrap 2 fingers around the right toe. So you have your arm is on the inside, if possible, on the inside of that right knee, and the sole of the foot is kind of directly towards the ceiling. So you can start to draw that knee in towards a sense that you're drawing it towards the shoulder, towards the earth. And you can use your upper arm to tease that knee a little bit wider. So with every inhale, trying to find a little bit of space in that hip joint. And with every exhale, maybe sinking, moving into that space. Lovely. Okay, from there, release the foot and place the outer edge of that right foot on the left thigh. So you create a bit of a figure 4 shape with the legs. And then we're going to reach up and wrap the hands around the back of the left thigh. So if you need to lift the head and shoulders to do that, then go ahead and then place the shoulders and head back down. Flex both feet. And this might be enough for you. This might already be pretty intense at the back of that right hip. But let's all take a big inhale wherever you are, and then either staying there, or even if you're just drawing in like a millimeter, on the exhale, have the intention of drawing that left knee in towards the chest. So you can use your right elbow to tease out that right knee, keeping both feet flexed, remember, to make sure there's some integrity in the stretch, so we're not kind of over-pulling things. Every inhale filling up the belly, and every exhale drawing in just a little bit more. Lovely. Let's stay here for 3 nice long breaths. Keeping the breaths in and out of the nose if you can. The breath is like wonderful, incredible tool that we have to control our automated nervous system. So to kind of set us into rest mode. You know how when we sleep and when we rest, we tend to breathe slowly. And if we're kind of panicked, we tend to breathe quickly. And it can work the other way around. So if we start with the breath and we start by breathing slowly, it sends those signals to the brain to rest and chill. Lovely, cool. Keep the feet exactly where they are and just release that left thigh. And spread the arms out wide, palms facing up. And then we're going to start to draw that lifted foot over towards the left-hand side. You can release the bottom foot down to the ground. So we're coming into a twist. So the sole of that right foot is pressed gently on the ground in a little twist. And then if it feels good for you, you can draw the gaze over towards the right-hand side. So you should feel the stretch here on the outer hip, the outer right hip, but also starting to twist in the spine. Lovely. Okay, let's bring the head back to center and then draw the knees back to center. Release that right foot down. And then just draw both knees in, give yourself a little bit of a hug, maybe a little rock from side to side. And then place the soles of the feet down. And we're going to do those same 3 movements on the other side. So starting by drawing the left knee in and wrapping fingers around shin. Just have a little explore, first of all, drawing the knee in towards the center, maybe a bit outwards. And then taking hold of left shin, ankle, foot, or wrapping 2 fingers and thumb around big toe. Drawing so that left foot is kind of pressing against an imaginary ceiling. Outer arm is inside the knee, if possible. And if you find you do this and your right hip really starts to lift off the ground, then gently press the right hand onto that right hip, just to encourage the hips to stay square and staying level. Half happy baby. So when you do this on both sides, it's happy baby. Lots of people's favorite yoga pose. Half happy baby. Come back to that breathing. And now, can you explore that stretch a little bit more? Can you find a bit of extra space? Again, softening through the facial muscles and the jaw and the shoulders. Notice where for you, if there's anywhere for you that you tend to hold, to tense up, to kind of hold that, oh, this is a bit of a challenge, stress. Yoga is all an exploration of your own body. Lovely. Okay, let's release that left foot and place the outer left foot on top of the right thigh this time. Clasping the hands around the back of the right thigh. And then if you lifted the shoulders, head and shoulders, place them back down. Flex both feet and then take a big inhale here to fill. Then as you exhale, draw that right knee in towards the chest. Again, inhale to fill. Exhale, draw the right knee in. Inhale to fill. Exhale, draw in. Can you use your right elbow to your left elbow to tease the thigh open a little bit more? And then inhale to fill up the belly. And then exhale to draw in. Lovely. Release that right foot down, keeping the left foot lifted as it is. Let's spread the arms out wide again. Palms facing up. And then we're starting to bring that lifted foot over to the right hand side and placing it on the floor on the right hand side. Coming into our twist. And then gaze starts to gaze over towards the left. I want you to imagine that there is a line going from your heart out in both directions towards both armpits, along the underside of both arms, past the elbows, past the wrists, and all the way to the tips of the little fingers. This really nice long line of energy. Pass through the heart space. Real kind of opening sensation. Lovely. Okay, let's bring the head back to center. Draw the knees back to center. Give yourself a little bit of a hug. Feels good. And then let's just roll over to one side. So you're in a tucked position on the floor on one side and slowly push yourself up. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So spread the fingers really nice and wide. Press into all knuckles of the fingers, yeah? So to take a bit of weight out of the wrists. Press into the mat. Let the inner elbows shine forwards. And then check your knees are about hip width apart, gently pressing into the tops of the feet. Now engage the pelvic floor and the lower abdominals and feel a little lift there. On your next inhale, dip the belly, roll the shoulders and start to look forward, and maybe the gaze comes up. And then as you exhale, we're tucking the chin in, press through the palms, broaden at the back of the shoulders and scoop the navel back towards your backbone. And again, inhale, dip the belly, roll shoulders, look forward. And as you exhale, tuck the chin in, Press through the palms, look to your navel. Let the crown of the head hang really heavy here. Let's do 3 more just like that. So cat-cows into your own breath in your own time. Imagining that there's a line from the base of the spine going all the way up past the neck. The neck's an extension of the spine all the way to the crown of the head. It's really, really good if you find yourself sat down quite a lot throughout the day. Starts to kind of wake up the spine, bring a bit of extra space and bounce and movement to the discs. Lovely. And then when you've done all 5 cat-cows, bring the knees as wide as your mat. Bring the toes to touch, and then sink the hips back towards the heels. If this feels pretty intense and a bit too much for you, then please use a cushion just underneath the hips, between the hips and the heels. And then start to walk the hands forward, and then let the forehead rest on the mat. And you can let the elbows drop, or you can keep them lifted and keep it quite an active child's pose. Your choice. Whatever's going to help you to bring your attention back to that deep belly breathing. You feel this, like, I'm on my front now. This feels a bit different. With every inhale, can you reach the fingertips a little bit further forward? Really spread the fingers. And with every exhale, can you draw the hips further back towards the heels? And feel that length from the hip crease all the way up the side body, up past the armpits. Lovely. On your next inhale, spread the fingers, look forward, and then pull yourself back up into like that tabletop position. Okay. All right, let's step the right foot forward. Keep the back knee down. Again, if this is tough on your knees, then place a cushion under that back knee. Okay. Cool. Keeping the fingertips or hands on the floor. I'm going to start to walk that right heel forward. Walk the right heel forward to your edge, wherever your edge is, and you're going to rock onto the heel of that right leg. Draw the right hip back so your hips are level and square as opposed to kind of skewed around. So if it helps me actually to sit up and just look at my hips. If you look down, you can see that they're level and not twisted. And then start to walk the fingertips down. So we're in a sort of half split. That right knee can be bent, yeah, this is really tough on the hamstrings. So again, it's about you finding your edge. Nice. Now let's draw in from the navel, and can you find a little bit of extra length in the spine? So imagining that as you breathe in, the crown of the head's really reaching forwards. And then as you exhale, you're hinging a little bit deeper into this posture. So inhale to lengthen. Exhale, hinging a bit deeper. Inhale, finding a bit of space. Exhale, surrendering into it. Lovely. Let's do a couple more breaths here. Starting to get a bit intense for me now. This is quite an intense one. Cool. Okay, let's come out of this one nice and slowly. So start to roll that right foot down onto the mat. And then, enjoy it. Nice release of the knee. Do what you need to do to sweep that right knee back. And we'll do the same on the other side. So stepping left foot forward. Maybe shift the right knee back just a little bit. And then we're starting to walk those left heels forward. And then rocking onto the left heel. Come up if you need to, or draw that left hip back so the hips are square. Take a big breath in to lengthen the spine, and as you exhale, start to walk the fingertips forward. Think chin to shin, yeah, chin to shin, and crown of the head forward. Again, notice if you're holding any tension anywhere. Typically might be the facial muscles, might be at the back of the neck, might be somewhere else. Nice, one more breath in. Maybe hinging forwards your deepest, and then slowly start to rock out of that posture. Standing back, and let's just do a brief child's pose. So as we did before, knees come wide, big toes together, and then sink the hips back to the heels. And just stretch that one out here. Reaching fingertips forward. Let the forehead rest on the mat. And let's do a nice cleansing breath here. So by that, I mean a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And again, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Sometimes really helps to reconfigure things and then come back to that steady deep belly breathing we had. Okay, so we're going to come into pigeon pose. We've been doing lots of work on the hips, so they should be ready and warm for this pose. If you know what I mean by that, then feel free to start to come into it. If you want to watch pigeon pose, then please do. So we'll be moving the right knee towards the back of the right wrist, and you let that right ankle. I mean, the intention, if you see kind of really strict, not strict, but like traditional, I suppose, yoga practices, they'll say make the right heel knee parallel to the front of the mat. So that's the kind of intention. But this is tough on the knees, so don't worry if, let me do it towards the front so you can see, if your heel is quite a lot further back, then that's totally fine. Whatever feels comfortable for you. You can also use a cushion to just prop up that right hip, if that helps. And then we're going to shift the back knee backwards, untuck the back toes. Take a big inhale to lengthen, and then we're going to start to walk the fingertips forwards, and then eventually coming down and releasing the head. Now, if you're watching me and thinking, I cannot do that, then I've got a modification which is totally gorgeous as well, and essentially does the same thing. So one way to do it is to simply come in like a zigzag position with your legs. So have the front shin parallel to the front of the mat, and the back shin parallel to the side of the mat. Square your torso over that front shin, lengthen through the spine, sit nice and tall, and then you're starting to fold over that front shin. Really, really similar pose. The only difference is that that back leg isn't reaching back like this, so it takes a bit of pressure off the front knee. So options, for you, whatever feels good and right this evening. Wherever you are, maintaining that sense of, as you inhale, lengthening, and as you exhale, surrendering. And if it feels nice and you want to really release the head all the way down, maybe use your forearms as a pillow, then that can feel pretty good too. And try to, in this posture, if you can, find your edge. And obviously, if it's painful, definitely ease off. But something that your breath can kind of help you to, is it pain? I suppose what I'm trying to say, exploring, is that pain, or is it just unfamiliar? Yeah. Let's have a couple more breaths on this side. And then we'll start to come onto fingertips and start to walk yourself back up. Come out of this one really nice and slowly. So rolling onto that outer hip. And then we'll go to the other side. So setting up, if you were in tabletop, so moving that left knee towards the back of the left wrist this time, shifting the right knee backwards, untucking the back toes. Or if you're coming into that zigzag variation, then this time it's the left shin that's parallel to the front of the mat. Yeah. Lovely. So you know what you're doing, extending on the inhale, and as you exhale, starting to walk forwards. Maybe coming to forearms, maybe reaching fingertips out long if you have space and it feels nice. And then maybe using your forearms as a bit of a pillow. So letting your head just tuck in there. So as you're staying in this posture for a few more breaths, I want you to start to visualize that breath traveling into your body and start to visualize, where does it want to go? If your breath had eyes, where would it be taking you, on what kind of journey? So in all of these, there's this balance of guiding the breath, but also allowing the breath to kind of do its thing and observing the breath. Lovely, one more big breath in. And then on your next breath, come onto your fingertips and start to walk yourself up, rolling onto that outer hip. Swing the legs round, and then let's come all the way to lie down in the final posture. Shavasana, corpse pose. Very delightful, huh? So Shavasana, extend the right leg out, extend the left leg out. Have your heels as wide as the mat, a little bit wider than usual, and let the feet flop aside. Release the arms alongside the body. Again, a little bit further away from the body than usual, and have palms facing up, and let the fingertips gently curl in. Maybe tuck the shoulder blades under just a little bit. And if you want to get a blanket and pop a blanket over you to help keep you warm, then please do that. We're going to be staying here for a couple of minutes. So when you have set up in Shavasana, here's an invitation to let go of the breath now. It's the chance to rest and just let the benefits of those deep stretches, that deep breathing, download into the body. Quite a special, unique time. Nothing to do but rest. So relax the facial muscles, relax the tongue, relax the shoulders, relax all of the right side of your body, and relax all of the left side of your body. Relax all the parts of the body that are in contact with the mat. Allow them to be supported by the mat, by the ground beneath. And then finally, relax all the bits of the body that are not in contact with the mat. They're in contact with the air around. Let them soften and melt. We're here for 1 more minute. So keeping the eyes closed and without moving, trying to stay as still as you can for the last few minutes of the practice. We'll stay in Shavasana for a short meditation. So thinking of the moon, the new moon and the lunar cycles, and this wonderful time where we're at the start of something. So we can set goals, we can make a plan, we can really think about the coming weeks and how we want to approach them, how we want to engage with our lives, I suppose. So as you're lying here, maybe think of an area of your life that you would like to transform in some way. Just an area. There might be lots of little things, but try to go with what comes to mind first of all. And I want you to visualize the highest form of that vision. So you're thinking of what you want to transform, imagining it being in its most brilliant way, the most brilliant outcome. How do you look? How do you feel in that vision? And try to make it really compelling, Try to make it part of your life. What are you doing in your vision? Who is with you in your vision? Then, with your vision in mind, allow your intuition, or a friend, or a God, or your higher self, to offer you a goal that leads to your vision. So whichever one of those things resonates with you, allow that goal to present itself. And then start to thinking about that goal and how it connects to your vision and your life. Can you think of a step, or a small step, that you would like to take, that you can take, that can get you towards that goal? A small step. And we're working with this lunar cycle, right? So make it a step that is achievable in the next couple of weeks. So whether that is one action that you need to take, whether it's a daily action that you want to take, you define what that step is. And then start to visualize yourself taking that step. Visualize yourself doing it. Yeah, what do you do before? How do you get to doing it? And try to make this vision, again, as compelling as possible, as real as possible. It's like you're watching yourself on a movie or something. And bring a little smile to the corner of your mouth, because you're like, hey, that's me, and I'm doing that thing towards my goal, and it's really nice. So give yourself permission to enjoy that feeling. And then with that vision in mind, let's do 3 more of those deep cleansing breaths to really, really cement that energy that you have in mind. So lying there, trying to stay as still as possible. Take a big inhale through the nose and then out through the mouth. 2 more just like that. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. And on this last one, it's going to be your biggest, richest breath that you've done all evening. Really nice big inhale. Feeling proud, happy, pleased that you're taking that step, and exhaling out through the mouth. Nice. And then let that vision go and come back to your Shavasana. Your steady breathing. Come back to the space you're in, the moment you're in, the time of the day, 6:45 on Thursday evening. And then only when you feel totally ready, able and willing, start to bring small movements back to fingers and toes. So maybe rubbing thumb and finger together. Notice that nice little tingle, the energy there. And then keeping the eyes closed or the gaze soft, let's reach the arms up and overhead, have a full body stretch. Wake up the body. And then from there, draw the knees in towards the chest and then roll over to one side. So you're in a tucked position. Enjoying a few final moments, connected to the ground, feeling grounded. That wonderful feeling, feeling grounded. And then finally pushing yourself back up and coming to sit in cross-legged position. Easy seat. Nice, let's bring the hands together. Gently connect the thumbs to the sternum and direct the forefingers outwards to the world around. Take one final big, rich breath in. And then as you exhale, tuck the chin in, give yourself a really big bow down. An invitation to share and say namaste. Thank you everyone for joining. I see there's a few people on Zoom. I think there's people on Facebook and YouTube. I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions at all, then please do put comments in the Zoom chat or Facebook. I can't be on all of them at once, but I will get around to answering your questions. And if you would like to join another one of the classes, there's a full moon themed one on Friday the 26th. And I have other classes and courses as well coming up. So please do get in touch and I can send you more information as well. But for now, thank you so much for joining. Really, really well done. If it was your first time, namaste everyone. Take lots of care.